and salutations. This is Dr. Rob Osai Robertson, PhD, and I briefly wanted to make a comment on this recent Cop City situation. Well, as it should come to no surprise to anyone, Cop City was approved by the Atlantic City Council yesterday. This is just another example of corporate interests and politicians moving together despite any type of public outcry. Now, this vote wasn't even close. I believe it was 11-4 on the city council. The other thing there's a couple of things in this case that I think, or this vote that I think are notable, or case rather. The one is that despite the notions of Atlanta being this place that's predominantly African American or something of that nature, the reality is that Atlanta is in Georgia, and Georgia is a red state. So this plays into another dynamic which is critical within political science, which is all state power comes from all local power, all municipal power, meaning any city or county, their power comes from the state. This is a term known as Dillon's rule. Basically all cities and counties or towns within a state are basically tenants. This is part of the ruling that goes back centuries. So even though we get into the demographics of a lot of cities and towns being majority minority, the reality is that they are, well, in the case of Georgia, you're talking about a red state. The other dynamic within this that I think is notable as well is that although the city approved approximately $30 million to help fund this project, another $60 million came from nonprofit and private funding behind this organization known as the Atlanta Police Foundation. This is reflective of the power of police unions and fraternal orders of police all over the country. So politicians are very hesitant to go against the police. This is a topic that I spoke about in another video, because it can be easily weaponized against you. So although particularly within the Black community we are very cognizant of issues of police brutality, the reality is that when it comes to the higher levels of politics, going against police reform or pushing police reform is a very difficult task. So even though this was not a police reform issue, it did put politicians, including the mayor as well as the majority of the city council, backs against the wall in terms of how they could be potentially perceived, not only from their constituents, but also from lobbyists who have a strong role in politics. So you had a lot of corporate money behind this decision. I did not think that could be underestimated. So a lot of people, they may have thought that public pushing may have led to this being defeated by the city council, but the reality is that when you have major politicians such as the mayor and state officials behind these types of bills, it's hard to defeat them because of the connection between corporate interest and local interest. So, and basically, even though it's a disappointment for progressive in the conscious interest, it's not surprising that this decision was made, that the city council voted to support the Cop City in Atlanta, particularly in DeKalb. So this is a brief commentary from me, Dr. Rob. Thank you for watching, and we'll speak again. Thank you.